How much does in-season performance affect the value of cards? In today's video, we're going to look at some of the risers and fallers from this NFL season and then check their card value using Cardladder to determine just how much doing well or underperforming can move the needle. But first, here's your intro. So if it looks like I'm in a dimly lit hotel room, that's only because I am. I'm on the road. My book tour lasted a little bit longer than I anticipated, and I didn't bring my webcam. But I wanted to maintain a consistent upload schedule, and this was an idea I had that I've been thinking about doing on my own time, so here it is. Since I do not have my camera, I'm going to just straight up screen share. You don't need a grainy video of me on the screen anyways, not that it would add a whole lot to the video. So let's look here at the MVP odds to get a feel for who is having some big years. I'm not going to look at all of them, but I do think that this is going to give us at least some kind of direction on who to check out, card-wise. Josh Allen's number one. So I'm just going to go to cardladder.com and type in Josh Allen. This is his player index, and we're going to go to 3 months since the season's kind of fresh. Started here in October, and it looks like, let's go to 1 month and see what that looks like. It looks like he's on the rise quite a bit. The Bills have had a pretty turbulent season as well, some ups and downs throughout the year, but overall, over the last month, he is up 3.6%. And he's up almost 1% over the last 3 months. I personally think Lamar Jackson has had a lot of season this year, so let's check him out. Yeah, he's up quite a bit. Over the last 3 months, he is up 6.32, and he has been consistently good since the season started. The Ravens have at least seemed like a more consistent team to me than the Bills. And over the last month, he's up 3.4% pretty consistently. I think people are going to realize at some point his cards are still undervalued. Jared Goff is another one who's been doing well, so we're going to check out what his cards look like. Over the last 1 month, he's up 25% as the Lions look like an absolute buzzsaw. And over the last 3 months, he is up 56.4%. So Jared is the biggest winner thus far by a landslide. But Jared Goff is not somebody that you view as like a blue chip investment. He's somebody that had definitely had higher to grow. Another monster one is Sam Darnold, and he's probably cooled down over the last couple weeks, but he was up crazy a few weeks ago. So he's still up 98.61% over the last 3 months. He was up like 150% at one point, but he is growing quite a bit. King Henry's leading the NFL in rushing yards, and he is up 10% over the last 3 months, but he's really turned it on lately, and he is up 4.8% over the last 1 month. I mean, it never stops. But that was the positive stuff. Let's look at who some of the biggest disappointments have been from this NFL season and see how that's affecting their cards. This one will be a controversial one because he's in the top 5 on MVP still, but I think Patrick Mahomes and expectations versus reality. Mahomes has been a disappointment. He's thrown an interception over the game. He has not looked like himself. Over the last month, he's up like 0.5%. Over the last 3 months, he's up 17%. My guess is a really big card sold on this day to drive up the entire index. I'm not entirely sure how it's pulled, but the fact that it jumped like that is kind of confusing to me. Anthony Richardson might be the biggest bust of the season thus far, at least of people who have played. I don't think Anthony Richardson is going to be on Cardladder. No, he's not. That's a bummer because he's been a monstrous disappointment this year. He just got benched. Let's look at Christian McCaffrey. He's not played this year, obviously, but that's been equally disappointing as anything he could have done on the field. His cards are down 5% over 3 months and less than that over the last month, it looks like. So down 1.27%. And again, this is not actually related to on-field performance. It's just been him being such a disappointment. Let's look at Dak Prescott. Prescott's been all right considering what he has going on. He doesn't have a ton of weapons besides CeeDee Lamb, but his cards are up 10% over the last month. I don't know how. I'll be honest. The Cowboys are struggling. They're up 8% over the last 3 months. Bryce Young, of course, is not going to be on here either. About Tua. Feel bad about this one because obviously it's not his fault that he was concussed, but his cards have definitely fallen, and that just shows the risk of injury as well when it comes to buying sports cards. He's down 50% since the season started. So to be fair, I wish Bryce Young and Anthony Richardson and some of these younger guys who have been benched would appear on Cardladder, but we don't have those numbers yet. I did do some eBay searching though, and it looks like Anthony Richardson's down about 40% over the last week, just since the news of him being pulled has come to the light. And those numbers might continue to fall. So I think the big takeaway is when you're buying somebody who's expected to be a top 5 to top 10 player, there's higher margin for them. There's higher room for them to grow because their cards are already valued pretty high. But you're also taking on a little bit less risk. The honey hole, though, has been buying those mid-tier people like Jared Goff, who finds himself in the top 5 on MVP discussion. I remember in our 2024 NFL preview that came out about 3 months ago, Jared Goff was my pick for MVP this year. He was a sleeper. So be sure to monitor headlines, try to monitor camp reports, and find those diamonds in the rough that are going to make you the 40-50% returns. And like we saw from the Tua graph, when possible, try to avoid buying people that are very injury prone. Or perhaps if you are going to invest in somebody who's injury prone, maybe buy at a time when they're not on the field making plays because their cards are going to be significantly less valuable. Thanks for watching this video. Sorry for the overall quality dip, but we're going to be back to our normal setup next week. See you then.